So this is our DH101 website. Maybe a first thing is that normally it's very easy to create a WordPress blog, but when you create it, and it's free, but when you're creating it, usually you're going to have an address that is going to be maybe dh101.wordpress.com. Okay, if you go on WordPress.com. If you want to actually have your site directing to a smaller URL that you master, domain name that you master, then you have to pay something. So I paid for this course because also DH101 was not available anymore, and so I had it's very easy. You can map then your WordPress blog to the dh101.ch website. So that was just the first thing. Here I'm logged, so I see a couple of things. I see here the popularity of the blog, and you see that it was, and with here a number 30. That's a peak of 30 users. We have reached since a couple of hours ago, basically. It shows, of course, that the blog I created the blog this weekend, so it was absolutely unknown, and progressively now is getting attention, not only by you, but also by other people online. You have here a given template, and we'll see that we can change that. I choose one particular template that I found okay, but we may change it over time and get another presentation of exactly the same content, but in a very different way. And then in that template, you have blog posts, which are here organized by dates, and you'll find basically different posts I've created since this weekend. The first blog post is about the objective of the DH101 course, so you may have a look on that if you're not sure about what you're going to learn in this course. Then there's a small video, a five minutes video about the concept of digital humanities. This is what we have been talking about last week. It's actually a YouTube video which is embedded in that particular blog post. Then you have Marin Dacos about academic blogging, same system. Then you have a first project proposal which is presented, and here there's only text. And you have the concept I've been presenting this morning, documentation of flux. This is shown here on a particular blog, and you have an interview from Frederic Kaplan you just heard a couple of minutes ago. An interesting thing, if we look, for instance, a blog post like this one, is that you have tags. Tags are different names which are associated to the blog post. Here, documentation of Flux, Flipboard, Paperly, Quickie, Storyfy. This is a general tags, basically, that can be associated with the content. And you have another concept, which is actually the notion of categories. So you see that this post was posted by Frederic Kaplan in concept, and I organized different kinds of posts, and we're gonna see the list here actually in categories. There can be concept, project, skills, tools, and uncategorized, which is another possibility. We may actually add additional one, but if then I click on concept, for instance, I will get only the concept, documentation of flux, and digital humanities, the first two concepts we saw on the course. So we have a search bar here that permits to do full search on the content of the course, and we have on the left additional widgets, as it's called in WordPress. Here it's just the list of recent posts. You have archives, but we have only a couple of days, so it's not very useful, but still. You have follow a blog via email. That means that some people that go to the website that find it sufficiently interesting, they just can add their email address, and they will receive an email each time the blog, each time there's a new blog post. A couple of administration elements. You have here a widget about category clouds. You see that we have more concept and project, skills, tools, and uncategorized. This will get refined over time, of course. And we have tags about a word cloud for tags. here you see documentation of Flux. You see it doesn't appear very well here, and you see Storify. These are two elements here. You have the community of users which are using the blog, and we have also Twitter updates, which is here based on my Twitter account, but which gives you an interesting flow about what has happened in the last 20 hours. Here you see, so it's actually one way of following what's happening. So this is for the external side, I would say, and then I'm going to log here, and you have the dashboard, which is showing to you some global information about the blog. You see the stats here. You see that it was not so popular a couple of days ago, but today on the 26th, because there were different blog posts like Wikipedia and biology database, documentation of Flux, etc. It was much more popular. So you can have this type of stats. You have actually a notion of top posts. We see actually that for the past week, the project, the Wikipedia and biology database, is actually the most viewed post, followed by digital humanities, 33 views. Objective of the course, 10 views, and Marada course has only 3 views here. So, okay, and you have the same information for the past day, which confirm what we just said. And then you have here a kind of roll of recent things happening, but I'm not going to comment on that. You're going to have a look and discover that by yourself. So this is the dashboard is presenting you some basic idea. Then you have the post section that is going to show you all the posts that were written. Some are actually published, and some are just draft, and some are pending. You can see the pending post here. It's the post that Frederic Jacob just wrote a couple of minutes ago about the creation of a Storify DH101. He did it in real time. Of course, it's not on the site now because it needs to be approved by myself in practice. And if we have a look here on the documentation of Flux post here, if we open it, then you'll see that it takes the following form. You have like a small text, short explanation of the concept of the documentation of Flux and the symmetrical notion of fluidification of documents. And then you have a YouTube link. To create that YouTube link, I just basically used this particular add media button here and decided I could have just dropped directly a file, or here I did it from URL, audio and video, and I'm putting here simply the URL that you can have on the YouTube video, and automatically the system will create that small tag. The nice thing here is that it will adapt to the layout, and if we have a smaller layout, a bigger layout, if you because it knows it's a YouTube video, it will do the right thing. And then you have a normal HTML link. Like I say, that this particular concept is related with the interview of Frederic Jacob in that case, and also to other resources. There's a resources in French about documentation des flux, fluidification des documents that you can check. So this is like a normal editor. You can have what you see is what you get view here. And if you type on text, you have the actual HTML version. I'm not going to go into detail, but basically you can embed most of the things you may want to embed in such a page. And then we can have a look at the categories. Here there's the notion of it's only a concept, so I ticked on that one. And here you can very easily add tags by just typing additional words and add them as categories. Okay, then we can have just maybe a general idea about the appearance of the blog itself, and manage and get. I want you to understand that actually the way this blog is presented, it's only one way among others that it could be presented. This is I'm using a template called Chateau by Ignacio Ricci, but there's thousands of other templates available. and we may just actually try how the blog would look like if we take, for instance, this one and we do a live preview, for instance, and you actually see a very different blog here. You see that the information is presented in a similar manner, but here the videos are much bigger, the concepts are different, and it's a single column blog in that case. So that's one possible template. I'm doing cancel here. We may try that one, for instance. And you see again, I mean, very different fonts, same idea. So I picked, I mean, the one I picked, I thought it was actually reasonably good for the topic, but of course I have not explored all the thousands templates that are available on the site. So you may as well, I mean, if one day you find a template that you find is much better for the course, I mean, we can discuss it and maybe we're going to switch. Some of the templates are free. Some actually, you see, you have to purchase them because that's one of the business model. That here it's actually a premium template. But if you invest a lot of time in your blog, maybe it's worth to buy really the templates which is fitting your needs and wishes. Then we go to the widget page, which is an important one. This is all the available widgets that you may activate for that blog, and there's many that we have not activated. You see on the sidebar widget area, the one we put: search, categories, recent post, archive, top rated, category cloud, tag cloud, calendar, etc. But we may at other points, I mean, decide to have a Flickr, for instance, widget, to have a other type of top clicks, for instance. You can, if we want to add a special RSS feed, we may just do that by drag and dropping this to that column. So it's very easy to use, and progressively you can enrich your blog this way. And I'm not going to present everything, so maybe just a last thing that you need to understand is the user management system. So you can actually be a single author blog, but here we created a collective blog. So I'm the administrator here with 6 posts, but you as students also can contribute, and other invited people. And basically, if you accept the invitation that was sent to you, you will be able to post blog posts by having them ready, and then I have to decide whether they can be put online or not, because our blog is quite it's getting popularity. So I'm going to do a bit of curation here, because it's also, all the issue is that you learn how to write a blog post and to do it well. And so there will be a form of curation, but you'll be able, being contributors, to just submit essentially your blog post, and then I'll decide on putting them online or not. And so that if you want to do that for another project, you just create a WordPress blog, and then there's this invite new section where you just add the names, the email address of your invited either followers, contributors, authors, editors, or administrator. And to each of these stages, there are different privilege and power that can be so you see that we have many requested, we had many invitations. Some of you have answered, the others will do it soon, because they will have to, because we're going to do an exercise on WordPress in a minute.